American. When you hear this word, what comes to your mind? Is it a proud citizen holding the Star-Spangled Banner? Perhaps a hard-working person who achieved the American dream through the ways of capitalism. The truth is, people's definitions of being an American can be very different from each other. You could think of them as resilient people that stand up for justice and equality for everyone, or just a bunch of people who like to complain. In reality, multiple events in the United States history have shaped its people, some good and some bad. In 1776, the United States was born through the struggle of the American people to separate themselves from the British Empire. Throughout the 18th century, the 13 colonies were primarily self-sustainable, so they weren't dependent on the British Empire to survive. This relationship led the American people to protest against the British once they started heavily taxing the colonies. This defiance led to an all-out revolution, in which the United States of America emerged victoriously. This event shocked the world, the greatest empire at the time, with an army that would scare any kingdom, was just beaten by its own colony. This showed the world how resilient Americans were and the lengths they would go to achieve self-determination. Then came the late 19th century, and with it, the rise of America. Population growth, economic growth, and the manifest destiny were all a big part of the United States that was seen in the 18th century. After the abortion of slavery, America was truly seen as a beacon of democracy, where anyone could achieve whatever they wanted if they worked hard enough. Even though this brought a lot of positive values to the American name, it also revealed some negative aspects. The wealth gap increased, revealing how terribly some people had it. Immigrants would live in terrible conditions and be discriminated against by citizens in a country that claims all men are created equal. Large company owners would abuse their workers and exploit them without paying them fairly. After coming out victorious in both world wars, the United States became the sole leading superpower in the 20th century, at least until the Soviet Union challenged that view. With the rise of the Soviet Union, communism was seen as an evil force that threatened the moral values of Americans. And after more and more people in the government started being accused of being communists, people started distrusting each other more and more. The Vietnamese War and the Watergate scandal definitely worsened things, causing so much distrust towards the government to the point where outsiders have dominated the elections in the past decades. In modern times, American culture is very diverse, with many different people being descended from many different places. It is hard to pinpoint a certain word or even phrase that describes what being an American is like. But with these historic events changing the American society, I can say that Americans are resilient and are ready to do anything for freedom. They are hardworking people with big goals, which can lead to greed and selfishness. But Americans are also just people that, if they work together, can accomplish many great things.